Okay, three, two, one, and action. Hello, how are you? I'm your host, Nick. Episode 5 of the Larger Than Life podcast, where you can become larger than life. Today, a bit of a short show again today. Only two topics. I'm going to be talking about a healthy lifestyle and how I do it, how I go about it, how I can improve, and I some just general health advice I should give to you in terms of like diet, exercise, just some experience with that. I have been trying to eat healthier and work out more recently, so that's kind of where I'm going with that. And the other topic that we'll get to later today is about my favorite football team. Yes, I watch football. Some of my listeners know this. My family knows this for sure. And yeah, we'll get to those. Um, but first, we're a week into summer vacation already, and almost at the end of June. I just kind of want to do a bit of a reflection on June as a whole for me personally, because June's been a pretty good month, honestly. I'm working a part-time job at my dad's office. I passed my permit test, which means I'll be able to very soon I'll start taking permit lessons. Some other really good stuff, school. I think that I ended the school year off very strong, and I just want to take a second to appreciate June because June's always one of those months I think is really good. I don't know, just year after year, I always have a good feeling about June. Like, I'm excited for it. I can't wait. It's the start of the summer. It's a good month overall. The weather's nice, the days are long. I like June. And for me, this year, June was a pretty good month. And I'm kind of excited for July. I would say so. But yeah, we're approaching the end of June. So I just wanted to give my 2 cents on that. June is one of the better months of the year. Eventually I'll have to rank every single month of the year because there's quite a lot to talk about there because every month is fairly different, So I might do that one day. We'll see. But for now, let's get into our first topic: eating healthy and working out, and just living a healthy life. It's literally the key to living longer. I don't know what else to tell you. Um, Part of being healthy is taking responsibility, being able to limit yourself on eating junk food. Just eat healthy food. I love vegetables. I eat vegetables almost every day. They're delicious. I know a lot of people prefer fruit over vegetables. I'm not like that. I prefer vegetables, and just from personal experience, I motivate myself to eat vegetables because I know they taste good and they're healthy, and that's the best combination you can get. And my advice is to just find some food that fits those categories. It's good for you and it tastes good. For me, some of my favorite vegetables are broccoli, peas. I If beans are vegetables, then I guess some of those. Onions are really good, although I wouldn't eat them by themselves. But stuff like that, they're really good. Super delicious, super good for you. And that's just one of the things I do. I always eat vegetables. I try to go to bed at a reasonable time, usually around 10, something like that. That's a good time to go to bed, I would say. I wake up whenever I just wake up. I don't set an alarm for myself unless I have like something very important to do that day. Um, Exercise a lot. Like I go to the gym every now and then. I'm trying to go more, and I really like I like exercising. I don't like my mom is way more into it than I am. She loves going to the gym. In fact, she goes literally every day of the week, and I commend her for it. I'm personally not that into exercise like she is, but I do like it a lot. It's very good. Um Again, it's part of just that healthy lifestyle. living longer, living happier. The quality of life really improves with a healthy lifestyle. And I can't stress that enough. It's also like something not a whole lot of people think about, but it helps you be more successful in life. Because when you're healthier, you have more energy, you have a better body, your brain is generally better so you can think clearer, and it really opens up the opportunity for you to be able to do more impactful things in your life that you wouldn't be able to do if you ate like crap every day. And that's sort of something that's helped motivate me to eating healthy, because it makes you feel so good when you eat well and eat right. So that's another thing. Um, I'm no perfect like body trainer or anything like that. I definitely need to eat a little bit less than I do. I tend to eat a lot. Uh, Partially because I enjoy eating. It's just I like doing it. So I don't really I don't know how I can get myself to stop doing it, but not stop, but like I should just eat a little bit less than I do. I eat kind of a lot. But if I do feel like I need to eat a snack, I should at least eat something healthy. Like an orange or something. That's a good snack. Drinking a lot of water. I can't stress this enough. No matter what time of the year it is, always drink water. It's very, like, it literally, it flushes out a lot of the gunk in your system, all the bad stuff that's in your food. Even the good food has some bad things in it, and water is responsible for flushing that out of your body. Um, it helps improve digestion, I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that, but whenever I drink a lot of water, I generally feel like my digestive system is working better. So that's always key. And don't here's the big thing with eating healthy. Don't just choose a couple of days in the week to do it. You have to do it every day. You have to do it every single day. Drink water, eat fruits and vegetables, eat meat, good meat like grilled chicken and stuff like that. That's really good. I'm not like I don't love meat. I'm not a vegetarian at all. Like, but I don't really like meat all that much. So it's harder for me to eat it because it's just not as tasty. But sometimes I do like it, just not as much as most people probably do. But if you can find good meat, then that's awesome because meat has protein. We all know how important protein is. It has iron in it. That's super good. Specifically, steak has iron in it. Um, yeah, like eating meat's very important. But again, doing it all regularly is the big thing. So if you can commit to having not necessarily a schedule, but building up the habit of eating your healthy foods and exercising regularly every single day, or at least like almost every single day, and trust me, you will feel the effects. And I think the number one thing I'm trying to improve on is that part specifically, just eating regularly healthy, not just healthy. Because sometimes, like, for example, like yesterday I ate pretty healthy, I would say, but the day before I really wouldn't say I did. So that's kind of like, I don't want that. I want to eat healthy like I did yesterday, basically every single day. It doesn't even have to be the exact food, but the point is, as long as I'm eating healthy, and of course, exercising, that's another big one, then you'll just feel so much better. You'll feel more productive, more motivated, more energized, more awake. It's amazing. It's so, so good to eat healthy. And you know what the best part about it is? So, to a point, it's not foolproof, but it makes you not enjoy the bad food as much. It makes you kind of shy away from all the gross stuff, all the stuff that's bad for you. Unless you don't like eating healthy food, but you just know you have to do it. But in my case, since I do like eating healthy food, then it's really, really awesome because as like I've started to notice the change is very gradual. Like, don't get me wrong, I only started this fairly recently, so I'm trying to get better at it. But I've already noticed I've slowly, just a tiny, tiny bit, don't quite as much enjoy the not as healthy food. I still enjoy it, just not quite as much as I used to. But don't get me wrong, it'll take a lot more time till I get to the point where I'm not interested in the gross junk food. But that brings me to my next point. You want to enjoy eating, in my opinion. Like, unless you're just naturally not built that way, you don't want to force yourself to not like eating. I think eating should be something that you enjoy, but don't get addicted to, because that's not good. Eating a lot of food, stuff like that, isn't good. But you should enjoy the meals you do have. And I really want to get to the point where I enjoy healthy food a lot, and sometimes occasionally treat myself to something that's, just kind of not exactly the healthiest, but also isn't necessarily bad for you. Like, sort of just like the middle ground. I feel like the perfect example of food like this is burgers. Like, burgers aren't perfect, but a lot of them tend to be like, they have some health benefits, but they're not like the best for you, but they taste really good. I would know. My uncle really likes burgers. So usually when we hang out, he takes me to multiple different burger places, and we both enjoy burgers a lot. Um, and burgers, the more I think about it, are like in that tier of foods where you want to eat them with something healthy, but they make a good snack on its own, and especially a good meal. And I have a policy that I really like when it comes to eating. As long as I eat something that's pretty healthy in every meal, then that's good. And I want to have a meal that's like mostly like food that's good for me, but also something that I specifically enjoy eating, something that's, a little bit tastier. So, like, for example, the other day I had a bunch of vegetables. I had some broccoli, some green beans, some peas, as I said earlier. Those are some of the ones I like. I also had some Brussels sprouts. Those are really good. And I had them in like this somewhat big plate. But then I also had a slice of pizza. It was like garlic chicken. That way I could, enjoy it a little bit more. And I already like vegetables on their own, but they're not filling. So that's kind of why I included the pizza, and it really completed the meal. It made it feel like a good meal. So that's kind of like how I look at healthy eating. Exercise is a little bit less consistent for me. I'm not quite as good at that, but as long as you find like a different workouts that suit you, that also like challenge you, that's kind of where I would go with that. Not quite. I'm not the best at giving advice for that, but it's definitely part of it. Just exercise frequently. Make sure it's a good exercise. Just commit to it. That's all I really have to say on that. But overall, living a healthy lifestyle is super important. It's I can't tell you enough how long it goes in your life. It is the difference between you living till you're 80 and 100. Okay, maybe that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but it is a very big difference. It makes a very big impact, and you want to eat healthy, you want to commit to it, and you want to, treat your body right, because even if it's not the most enjoyable as a kid or whatever, it's going to pay off in the long run. Absolutely. The long run is more important, I feel like, than people give it credit for. You want to live long, and treating your body right is the best way to do it. Absolutely. And, treating your brain right too. I mean, eating healthy food isn't just good for your body, it's also good for your brain, as I said earlier, which really helps with your productivity and your work ethic. And it helps me do better in school, helps me do better with making content, and it helps me have better days, enjoy myself, stuff like that. Uh, as I've basically said a bunch of times already, healthy eating goes a long way. You can't deny it. It's just one of those things you have to do, in my opinion, to enjoy your life, whether you like it or not. But as long as you can enjoy it, then it's even more healthy for you mentally. You know, eating healthy and exercising is very good for your mental health as well as your physical health. And you got to put a lot of stock into it. It really, really, it goes a long way. So do whatever you can to take care of your body. Your body will absolutely thank you by the end of it. There's no question about it. So that's all I really got on that topic. Um, Only one more for today. Uh, it's only a bit of a shorter show. Um, yeah, it'll just be about my favorite football team. Um, I gotta say, I a lot of people I know don't like the team that I like. A lot of them kind of criticize them, and I don't really care. I just kind of want to talk about my favorite football team for a little bit because I'm a pretty passionate fan of them. I know I'm dedicating a segment to talking about them, but like I think it's important. Just give you a bit of background on how I became a fan of them, and in case you didn't know, and I'm sure a lot of you do, but if you didn't, I watch football very passionately. I really love watching it. I would never play it because I'm not built for that. Plus the injury concern with that, injuries are a real thing in that sport and all this other stuff. But watching football is really entertaining. I'm super into it. Um, uh, you know, there's so many good teams in the NFL, but my favorite one are the Los Angeles Chargers, formerly the San Diego Chargers, and no one can ever seem to get over that. Like, geez, they moved to LA like 4 years ago. Like, come on, just move on. Accept the fact they're the LA Chargers. Some people can't. And the Chargers are a team that never can consistently put together good seasons because multiple things, mostly bad coaching staffs, injuries to the players, choking in big games. And as a fan, it's been kind of a roller coaster watching my team kind of win one game that they're not supposed to and then lose the next that was like a gimme win. It's really like crazy, but um they're moving into they moved into a new stadium last season. It's a really nice one. SoFi Stadium. I haven't actually been there in person, of course, COVID and all that. Plus, like, I don't live in LA, so, the drive just to go there would be a bit inconvenient, but a little bit. But, it's a really nice stadium. The team got new uniforms last year. A new quarterback that's super good, Justin Herbert, won Offensive Rookie of the Year. The team has a lot of really good players. Keenan Allen, very good receiver. Uh, Edge rusher Joey Bosa, safety Derwin James, like really good players. It's a good team that should be making the playoffs. I really hope so. This team every year is always a team that people think should make the playoffs, but just don't because the expectations are always just a little too high. But you know, his team got a new coaching staff. They fired Anthony Lynn, who was a decent coach, but just had awful game management. And he was responsible single-handedly almost for losing about like 4 or 5 games last year. It was really bad. And the new coach, Brandon Staley, came from the Rams, also in Los Angeles, but I really like him. He seems like a really good guy, good coach. And I actually have confidence in a Chargers coach for like the first time for a while. I can't even remember. I've only been a fan for about 9 years. So like around the middle of Philip Rivers' career. And I got to see players like Ryan Matthews and DJ Fluker and some other like not really that good players on this team. But I also remember other really good players that were, um, you know, that are no longer Chargers, but super memorable players like um, Malcolm Floyd, uh, Nick Hardwick, Melvin Gordon for a bit, some other players like that. Adrian Phillips, kind of. Jason Verrett. Oh my God, that guy can never stay healthy. Um, yeah. So the reason I became a fan though was because my dad, he just kind of like he watched football a lot, kind of like I do now, but he doesn't watch it quite as much because he's pretty busy with his work. But he kind of got me into watching it. Like I just one day just started watching football with him, and he likes the Chargers too, not quite as much as I do, but he does like them. So he kind of like taught me the game sort of, and I just grew a lot of interest in it. And I've only gotten more and more into the game over time. And to this day, I pretty up to date with the news in the NFL. So like I would know pretty early like if Tom Brady moved to another team, let's just say hypothetically if he did. Uh but yeah, so I'm like the NFL is a very very like it's always a good watch every year. The football season spans some of my favorite months of the year, most notably like December, November, January. Like those are some of my three favorite months of the year. And through those months, like the football season it eclipses those three. Starts in September, ends in early February because of the Super Bowl. And I hope as a Chargers fan that the Chargers do win a Super Bowl. They haven't won one yet in their franchise's history. But I really hope it happens this year. I don't think it will because a new coaching staff. There's just too many other good teams in the AFC, I think. But hopefully one day, in the near future, it is a possibility. It's unlikely, but it's possible. And I wouldn't say I'm a diehard fan of this team, but I am a a pretty like passionate fan. I'm very passionate about this team. I follow them closely. I you know I try and support them the way like as much as I really can. Uh you know Stuff like that. I think the team. I know they're going through like some ownership turmoil right now. Uh, but I think overall they're fairly well constructed. Not as good as some other teams in the league, but they're not a disaster like the Houston Texans. Um, yeah, uh, I I really have to commend the GM Tom Telesco. He went out there and he upgraded the offensive line, which was always an issue with this team. Really, ever since Nick Hardwick retired, the offensive line was never good after that. But I mean, the team went out and signed the best center in football, Corey Linsley, drafted a tackle, Rashawn Slater, um, got a couple of other offensive linemen, and I think this team is geared up for success in 2021 because I think Justin Herbert is going to get better. He was really good last year. I would say he was the best rookie quarterback of all time. A lot of people would agree with me on that. Some would say Andrew Luck. Some would probably say RG3, but I think Herbert was the best one. I mean, he broke literally almost every single rookie record behind a terrible offensive line and a coach that couldn't manage the game to save his life. And I don't think this team's going to be like a powerhouse, but I think maybe 11-6 or something like that's fairly reasonable. Maybe 10-7. They do have a fairly brutal schedule early on, but I don't know. It feels kind of weird for me to be talking about my favorite team, my favorite sports team, my favorite NFL team. I don't really watch any other sports outside of football, so they're just my favorite sports team in general. But yeah, it is kind of weird for me to talk about the Chargers on a podcast that literally has nothing to do with them. But I just kind of thought I'd bring it up a little bit because just to get to know me a little bit more if you don't know me personally. I am a Chargers fan, and I just wanted to share that. I mean, part of the idea of this podcast, though, is for me to just share stuff about my life and what I'm interested in and stuff like that. So that's kind of why I figured it'd be a good time to bring up that I am a Chargers fan. They're my favorite team. They always will be my favorite team, even though they moved to LA. So, you know, it's kind of like I'm not even bothered by it, honestly. Well, okay, I am a little bit, but like, so what? Honestly, just get over it. They're in LA. It's actually better for them because the stadium there is really nice, even though they share it with the Rams. But yeah, that's all I really wanted to say about my team. A little bit of a more scattered topic, but I just kind of had a lot to say about them. Just some background information, some stuff they recently did, and yeah, I feel like just sharing about my team is something it's just a good way to get to know me a little bit better and stuff like that. So yeah, I thought it'd be fun. I hope you enjoyed it. And that is it for today's episode. Um, Thank you so much for listening. Uh, I, I, you know, it was a good show today. I love you, appreciate you. Have a very good day. And bam, I am.
Hit it! Turn it up! Hit it!